Well, welcome everyone. Um, Thank you very much for joining us for this first Wide World of Startups presentation webinar. We're going to have six companies presenting today and three panelists joining us. We are just waiting for our last panelist to get online, and as soon as he does, we will get started. So please just bear with us for a couple more moments.
Hello, this is Brad Caton.
Brad, hey, glad for you to join us.
Oh, good. Yeah, sorry, I was in a Google Hangout session on another link. But anyway, here I am now.
Okay, we are live right now.
Okay.
Are you logged into the webinar as well?
I believe so.
Okay.
I see yes, I see the screen that's up right now, so I am. I believe
Okay,
yes.
great. And then let me, I'm going to share my screen. And can everybody see that slide that's up there?
Yes.
I can see it.
Okay, great. So we're going to do a quick panelist introduction. Brad, I'm going to ask you to go first and just take about a minute to introduce yourself.
All right, you bet. So I'm Brad Caton. I've joked for years that I'm a serial entrepreneur turned parallel. I've started a number of companies, 5 to be exact. Some have had some success, 2Wire, 4Home, a few others. But 2010, I became a pretty serious angel investor. Actually, that year, 2 of my startups had sold off, so I was fortunate to have a little bit of money. And I've made a lot of angel investments since then. I'm in 3 different angel capital groups. I'm in actually one of Joe Rubin's groups, FP Angels. I'm in Launchpad Venture Group here in New England. I'm a general partner in an angel capital fund based in Boston, but also operating really up and down the East Coast. We have ambitions to go national, but it is up and down the East Coast, called the Investors Collaborative. So those are my 3 equity fund or equity group connections, you could say.
Brad, thanks very much. We next have Gordon Monk coming to us from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Hey guys, Gordon Monk here. I own and operate a boutique investment bank, Performance Capital Advisors. We specialize in advisory, go public transactions, RTO, typical deal size, let's say sub 2.5 million up to 50. Previous to Performance Capital, I was director of institutional equity sales at a Vancouver-based merchant bank, and I was also director of a fund. So I have a lot of experience both buy side and sell side, and certainly have advised my fair share of startups.
Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Joe Rubin from New York City.
Hey, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm Joe Rubin. I run Funding Post, which is a national venture conference organization. We do conferences in 23 different cities around the country, introducing entrepreneurs and investors. I am also the founder of ARC Angel Fund. We're a fund based in New York, and we invest anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 in early stage tech companies. We've made about 5 investments this year, and we're still looking for more. And as Brad said, I also run FP Angels. Happy to have Brad as a member of the group. We've done about 7 deals this year. We look at companies nationwide, again, early stage, mostly tech companies in that group. and that's pretty much it. Keeps me all busy, all that stuff.
Joe, well, thanks very much. Before we get started with our first company, Cheeked, with Lori Cheek, just a very brief overview. Again, a lot of the focus and point of this particular series is to try to bring a larger geographic scope together than for both startups and the investors. Normally, these types of events take place in person, which is great and fantastic, but you're usually limited by the locality of the companies themselves and the investors. So I'm hoping with this kind of series to be able to bring a larger geographic distribution of companies and investors to the foray. Each company will have 5 minutes to present, and then there will be 10 minutes allocated for questions from the panelists. It's not necessary for either to use the full amount of time. We'll then go through the 6 companies, and then the panelists and myself will go offline to a conference call for 5 minutes to discuss the winner, and we'll make that announcement right after that. So, Lori, I think you should be able to hear me, and I'm going to make you the presenter now. Fantastic.
Can you hear me?
I love it when everything works.
We can hear you great.
Great.
So, Lori, it's all you.
I need to hide this. Oh, how can I hide this?
Uh,
I guess that's fine.
yeah, you can just use your up and down.
Okay. Hi. I'm Lori Cheek. Hold on one second. I can't get this to move to the next slide. Do you know how I can minimize this?
The go to the webinar.
Yeah,
There should be there's a little orange arrow at the top. If you click that, it should take it to the side.
Here we go. I'm Lori Cheek, the founder and CEO of Cheeked. It's like online dating in the real world. My partner and CTO, Roger Chinchilla, is a tech-savvy, successful serial entrepreneur. Well, what's the problem we're trying to solve? Have you ever spotted an intriguing stranger and then they got away? Well, based on the New York Times, there are 32,000 misconnections posted each month on Craigslist in New York City alone. While there are 102 million single adults in America, the approximate 5,000 online dating sites in this country have not cracked the code on how to successfully connect people. There are also these familiar strangers we cross every day on our morning jog, in a cafe, or even in a street corner. You don't know if they're gay, straight, single, married, or even looking. And even that person might be sitting right next to you, and most people just don't know what to say to break the ice. Some people don't even have the nerve to say hello. And while most of us are looking down at our screens on our smartphones, the love of your life might just walk right past you. Cheeked, launched in May of 2010, coined by the New York Times as the next generation of online dating, would allow you to catch these intriguing strangers with a card. The lucky recipient could connect with you safely online by entering the card's unique ID code at cheeked.com. The new Cheeked app, launching next month, will allow these singles to never miss a connection, and they won't even have to slip a stranger a card to break the ice. We've teamed up with one of America's hottest app developers, Fueled, and are utilizing a cutting-edge technology, NewAir, which will allow ambient radio data around us to connect us via a low-energy Bluetooth connection where no Wi-Fi is required. That means the app will work in a train, in a plane, and anywhere you might have or might not have spotted the potential love of your life. And it goes a little something like this. Users will download the Cheeked app and connect with Facebook. The user can quickly select up to 10 photos they'd like to display and even select the likes from Facebook that they'd like to display. Once you've set your filters to what you're seeking and you've enabled your Bluetooth and your location on the app, you'll immediately start getting notified when you've come within 200 feet of anyone that fits into your filters on the app. It will even tell you on a map where you've missed them and how many times you've passed them. Once both users have expressed interest in each other, more information is revealed about each party, and then you have the option to start the conversation or continue browsing. At any time, you can dismiss or block another user, and they'll never appear on the app again. On our connections page, you can keep the conversations going and hopefully take it back offline, like as in a date. One can even use the device as any beacon. It's a cross-platform technology that can be used on a smartphone, any smartphone. Even your wearable, if you allow it to broadcast your identity, could connect you to a potential mate. With the new Cheeked, we'll even be able to create a central meeting area that can store all the encounters for the day, effectively time-shifting passes and even further mitigating misconnections. We can remove time from the fate equation. We're excited to offer users an even more spontaneous way to interact in the real world, where potential dates are right in the palm of your hand. Thank you.
Very, very nice job. So I'm opening it up now for Brad, Gordon, and Joe. And, you guys can all
Somebody talking now? I can barely hear.
Is that Joe?
Yeah, Bob, your audio is not coming through. Yeah, now it is.
So, guys, you can go ahead and take it over for questions with Lori.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'll let whoever's talking, go.
It's Joe. Just a quick question. I'm married, so I don't download all the dating apps. But I have seen a couple of my younger single friends use a bunch of different types of dating apps. It's a pretty crowded market. While a lot of them are very different than what you're doing. Some of them are older school sort of stuff. I have seen one or two that have sort of the location-based proximity alert of someone in your interests settings there. With all the noise in dating apps nowadays, how do you see yourself being so differentiated and really gaining traction right now?
I mean, I've been at Cheeked for, I guess, about 5 years now, and I've learned what's missing in the world of online dating, and that's this real-life encounter. I mean, nothing online can replace the chemistry of passing someone in the real world. And with the initial Cheeked that I had previously, it was about, the digital cocktail napkin in a way that you see someone and you engage with them and you reconnect online. And no one else to this day in the location-based space of dating is doing anything so proximity-based that you can see someone that's sitting right across from you. So sitting in a train underground with no Wi-Fi connection when everyone's looking down at their phone and that's what they're doing, if they're on the Cheeked app, they'll see who's in the train with them, and maybe you see a hot guy on the screen of your phone, and I think it will prompt you to look up and pay attention to what's around you. So I think it's a complete game changer, and that all these other apps like Tinder, for example, you sit there in the privacy of your apartment flipping through people like it's a video game, but this is about meeting people in the real world. These people that you're crossing are not on the 12th floor of a building, they're right in front of you.
Interesting. This is Brad. If it's okay, maybe I'll just hinge off that question. So, interesting concept, right? Location-based dating. Certainly, it's what's out there right now. There's a lot of companies that are creating a lot of value and valuation, right, based on location-based technology. So I like that. I guess it sort of comes down to how many people are out there, right? If there's only 7 people using it, it would never work, right? So it's that network effect, getting over that hump. So, and obviously you're just launching your app right now. So I guess sort of 2 questions in one. One is, you've been at this since 2010 with the business card mechanism you were using. How successful is that? How much of a user base do you have there? And then related to that, how do you build enough of a base that you kind of get over the threshold point?
Well, I feel like we're pretty much completely starting over. I mean, of course, we've got a database of, I mean, hundreds of thousands of people. I was on the Shark Tank, and we have a list of emails of people waiting for this new app to launch. So as soon as it's out in the market, we'll have this major database to send out to people that are interested. And I mean, one thing I've done right in the past 4 years is get press. If you did a Google search of Cheeked, I've been covered in everything from the New York Times to Huffington Post. I've been all over international news. I've got customers in 28 other countries. So, I mean, the one thing I've done right from day one is getting the word out about this. And, you know, 5 years into this, I've made every mistake you can possibly make, and this time I know exactly what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm starting a brand new business, and now I have a degree in business and marketing that I've gotten from building this business. I mean, I'm an architect by training.
Brad, again, I'll ask another question. I'm sure one of the other panelists will ask it, so I might as well ask it now. So talk to me about monetization. How do you make money out of this?
Well, you know, just like Instagram's success story, I mean, I think the idea is about getting users first. So it's a free app. You can't compete with the other free dating apps if you start charging. So imagine we get all these users, and then we can upgrade to things where you could leave someone a message, as in a drop message somewhere where they have to go somewhere and pick it up. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that you can start monetizing it by giving a special kind of membership. And I mean, we're going to start having events on a weekly basis once this thing launches in different neighborhoods all over New York City, and you have to have the app to come in. And eventually we could even charge for these singles events, and when you come into the space, you can start connecting with the app.
So it's only New York City. Did I catch that right?
No, it's going to be everywhere. But I mean, I'm physically based in New York City, and I feel like anything that gets hot in New York can be hot all over the world.
Hey, Laurie, this is Gordon here. I got a quick question.
Yes.
How much money has been spent to date? And based on your sort of revenue model that you were just sort of describing, how much more do you need before you get to some sort of critical mass or break even? Have you figured those models out?
Yeah, I mean, Fueled is not a cheap operation, so we've spent quite a bit of money at this point. I'd say overall the app could end up costing about $200,000. But keep in mind, these app developers, you may not know, but they've developed apps for Porsche and Ducati, and I feel like if they put the design and user experience of a Porsche or a Ducati into the world of dating, I mean, no one's kind of nailed the beauty of the user experience on a mobile dating app either. And I think the next step is we just need funding to keep updating. I mean, this is going to be for the launch of iPhone. We'll be looking to upgrade to Android. And the beauty of this technology is it's a cross-platform technology, so even a Windows phone can communicate with the Apple phone, and you know, that's eventually going to cost some money. So I think we're looking at raising $300,000 to $500,000 for the next steps.
How much do you think you're going to burn through before you get to break even? Have you got that figured out?
Well, I kind of don't want to consider what I've done with Cheeked previous with the cards. I mean, that was kind of almost a beta test to get where I've gotten now. I mean, this is starting from scratch in a way, and you know, I think the idea is to get all these users, and whether you get acquired or figure out the most economical way to start charging users and make it a magical way for them to meet people. I mean, I think with another $300,000 to $500,000, we'll get to that stage for sure.
Okay, cool. I have just one final question, and then I'll shut up. So if you're looking for $500,000, what sort of valuation would you put on the company right now?
Yeah, that's it's kind of a new world to me. You know, before I had a revenue system in place, and now that I don't, I honestly think this could be the next big thing in the world of online and mobile dating. I mean, I had the original Cheeked valued at $1 million on the Shark Tank, but I feel like there's something way more magical and user-friendly about this. I mean, with those cards, you were asking people to physically walk up to someone and almost tap them on the shoulder, and this is a tool that's going to break the ice to someone right in front of you. You don't have to have really the kahunas to go do that, and most people don't. So, yeah, I wouldn't know what to say about the valuation. I mean, if I were to value who I am building this, me behind this, I'd say $5 million.
Okay, thank you.
So we have about a minute left. We have time for one more question.
This is Brad. I'll ask one more question on the technology side. So you mentioned how it was cross-platform, and you had some pictures of wearables and all that. How does that work? How is it? How would it work across all those different devices?
So New Air is this new technology. They're a startup, and as I mentioned, it's gathering your ambient radio data. So it connects these interactions with people, and the application runs on your phone. So the application is actually, I mean, the phones become the beacon, and even your wearable technology devices become the beacon. So it's basically a proximity platform teamed up with a beacon technology. So you can turn anything, I mean, you could wear a sticker and it can become your beacon, and that can connect you to people as long as you share your identity.
Okay, so it's really, at the end of the day, it's the phones that are.
Can you select? Can you select
You
the
just-
data?
Can you select the data?
I'm sorry. Let someone else finish. Had a question.
No, somebody just cut out. Just a second.
No, go ahead, Joe. I'm done with my question.
No, you know what? I'm all set. It was actually a very good presentation. It's very cool, and I certainly wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. And one more point I'd like to bring up is this could be beautiful in the world of business, and that's the next step.
So great presentation, Lori. Thanks,
Thank
panelists. Hey, Lori, just a final question or thought for myself. Do you see an opportunity to maybe be, one of the first apps on the Apple Watch?
It would be a dream come true.
Okay. And so with that, Lori, thanks very much. And I am going to be handing it over now to Dave Watkins of Content Launch.
Hey guys, can everyone see my screen okay? All right, so we'll go ahead and get rolling. All right, so my name is Dave Watkins. I'm the CTO for Content Launch. We've been in business for the last 10 years, and we're concentrated in the services side of content marketing, basically content creation. In that 10 years, a common outcry from our clients, primarily in the SMB market, was heard, and that was they needed a way to manage their content all the way from ideation to creation to publication, and then measuring the efficacy of that once it was out into the virtual world. And so we created a content marketing software. We started about a year ago, and we launched about 2 weeks ago. So we're seeking an investment of $500,000. We feel with the history of the company at 10 years and the current money from the services side, that a $5 million valuation is reasonable, and we're looking for a 10% ownership for that $500,000. As far as what the funds will be used for, we have a pipeline for phase 2 and phase 3 of the product. As I mentioned, phase 1 is already out the door. And we're going to use that $500,000 to move us along in our sales and marketing efforts, and then grow the infrastructure and foundation of the company as we grow our client base. We think the opportunity for an exit strategy in the realm of 30 to 50 million 3 to 5 years from now is not unreasonable. As I mentioned, the problem that we're solving is the SMBs out there, and there's many of them, produce content, and they publish that content, but they don't have a way to get their arms around the chaos involved in that content publication and creation. And so they have individuals that are out doing their own thing, and they don't have a way to manage the brand messaging and the content requirements with regard to publishing guidelines. So we built a tool that helps automate that process. So the current solutions out there, and there are some, they're big guys, Compose, Skyward, NewsCred, and DivHQ. The problem with them is for the SMBs is these guys play at the high level of the market, and the SMBs can't afford the price point to get in there, which is roughly $1,000 to $10,000 a month with a $2,000 startup. So that eliminates a wide swath of the market immediately. They just can't afford that price. So why Content Launch? Well, we've been in the SMB market for the last 10 years writing content. We understand our customers very, very well. And so we built a product, as I mentioned, that allows people to generate their content in our system, publish their content from our system, schedule that content, and then track the efficacy of that content once it goes out the door. Again, all from one place. We already have traction on our product. As I mentioned, we launched 2 weeks ago, first at Content Marketing World, and last week we were at HubSpot Inbound Convention. From that, we gained 200 beta users, which are on and actively using the system right now. We've created active partnerships with HubSpot and Acton. They are key players in this space with the SMB market, and between the two of them, they have a captive audience of about 11,000 of our potential customers. We also hired Cone Marketing as our branding and PR firm, and they're doing an awesome job for us. And again, with our own content services business, we have access to our own clientele that's generating for us about $400,000 a year. As far as the market opportunity, content marketing itself, it's a pretty new vertical, about 10 years old. Softwares in this space are kind of clamoring for space, but it's a $30 billion spend last year. Marketers are spending about 25% of their marketing budget on content marketing. Many companies are outsourcing that. And so the need for a product like ours to come into the SMB space to provide a cohesive way for people to manage, create, and distribute their content is of paramount importance for people right now. As far as marketing growth goes, again, we hired Cone Marketing. We ourselves have about 20,000 existing contacts that we're going to start blasting out to here in the next couple of weeks. As I mentioned, we have partnerships with HubSpot and Acton. And most importantly, our CEO, John Woodman, has been in this space for 10 years. He built Content Launch, and he is considered an expert in content marketing, was beating that drum before most people came on. We also hired 2 veteran professionals that deal with the sales, one's in Philadelphia, one's in Arizona. The revenue model is pretty simple. It's a subscription-based model. We run from $300 to $700 a month. We also have other revenue opportunities for the content creation side. And then some proportion of our clients are going to want advanced training and the ability for us to manage the product for them. We anticipate with those 3 revenue channels that we're going to generate about $1.9 million between now and next October. Some financial assumptions, it's a lot to kind of look at. It's dense, but basically our EBITDA in the next 3 years, we anticipate at $1.2 million. 5 years, we anticipate explosive growth at about $9.4 million.
So Dave, just a 1-minute warning for you.
Sure, okay. So just a quick note about our team. John Woodman, owner of the company, has been in the space for 10 years. I'm Dave Watkins. I've been building SaaS applications for at least that long. Joe and John are our sales arms, and then Carl and Mike are board members that have built and sold companies, active investors in the company. So gentlemen, that's it, and I welcome your questions.
Dave, thanks very much.
It's Gordon Monk here. First of all, congratulations, 200 users in just a couple of weeks on the beta. That's pretty good. Just a question on the revenue model here. So what's the plan? Is it to bring people on board sort of under a free model and then convert them? Is that the plan?
That's correct. So on the beta users that we have right now, they're all under a 30-day free trial. That's good for a couple of reasons. One, it makes them sticky because they're going to use our product and upload content and distribute out. But number 2, it gives us the ability to let them try the product and then give us good feedback, which will go into round 2 and 3 of our pipeline. But yeah, 30-day free model for anyone.
Okay, thanks. And just one more question for me. If I missed it, I'm sorry. How much was spent or has been spent to date on development?
So today we're about $500,000 in through ownership investment and outside investment.
Are those 20?
The valuation you're looking at is based on sort of the pro forma forward-looking, right?
That's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Are those 20 users that you already got, are they paying that $300 to $700 per month?
No, not yet. Again, we launched the product two weeks ago at Content Marketing World, and so these folks are still on the 30-day trial. After that 30 days, it'll be a pay-to-play model, and so right when they log in on day 31, we're going to ask them for credit card information or their subscription will be terminated.
Okay, who's invested in the company so far?
So John, the owner, and then Carl and Mike, who are on our board.
How much have they put in? I'm sorry.
500,000 total.
Okay.
And John himself, the owner of the company, is 350 of that. So he's got the skin in the game. Definitely passionate about this market.
This is Brad. So one of the issues with the SMB market, right, is customer acquisition cost. There's been many successful companies that had lots and lots of clients, but they ended up selling for a low value or going out of business because of that. I think the answer to that question, right, I was about to ask, is your partnerships with HubSpot and Acton. So I don't want to kind of lead the witness, but assuming that's your answer to how to battle the customer acquisition cost, that's my first question. Confirm that. Talk to me about those partnerships and how that would play out. How you expect that to play out.
Sure. So HubSpot and Acton, obviously, they're we're looking to them to generate a lot of buzz, mainly because their customers understand the need for content marketing because they're using their platforms, and they understand the need to get their arms around that content creation. So both of them, being strategic partners with us, are going to market us through synergistic sales and marketing opportunities to their client base. The anticipation being that they will have some proportion of their clients convert. Similarly, we'll bring our own clients and we'll convert them up. HubSpot, what they do is they do content distribution wide, and so people like them for that, to get out to multiple channel partners. We do content creation deep, and so we're a very complementary product. And when we were at HubSpot's Inbound convention last week, we had a line at our booth of people just asking the questions on how are we going to get on this product. So the customer acquisition, you're absolutely right, in the SMB market, it's super difficult, but we feel we've got kind of an ace in the hole with 11,000 potential customers just waiting at our fingertips, and that's before we even do any, kind of outside marketing ourselves.
So the HubSpot gets a percentage. They're a reseller, or they would get compensated based on that? Because there's no financial motivation. The partnership may start off great but kind of fade out. So how does that play out monetarily?
Yeah, it's not a revenue, it's not a rev share for them. HubSpot, the way that they work and how they get their clients is they go out and they find strategic partners that offer value to their existing client base. So as an example of that, they just built kind of a CRM plugin that they're going to offer out to all their clients for free. And they're always looking for those things that they can bolt onto their system that are synergistic products to keep their existing clients sticky and allow them to get more clients. So for us, although there's not a rev share, they consider us as a partner that will bring more clients to their system. And not only through the offering that we have, but also from us exposing our clients to their system. And same with Acton.
Is there any sort of case studies of other customers that have done a similar non-revenue partnership? I worry about non-revenue-based partnerships, right? Because it's the value's soft, right? So talk to me about that. Any models they've talked to you about that you'll be following?
Again, HubSpot themselves, that's kind of their business model. What they do is they bring on most of their partners as a value add to their existing product, and that's, the genesis of their name, HubSpot. Come here, pay your subscription, and we give you access to a variety of different tools for no additional cost. And so their benefit to their customers is that they're always innovating and bringing on new products such as ours and offering it out to their clients, but not increasing the subscription rate so that there's always this new price. If you want this, you have to pay that. They're already at a price point that's fairly significant at $900, and so their customers have come to expect that they're always innovating and offering them new things. I understand it's revenue, it's revenue light, that may make us a little less sticky, but that kind of is their business model. It doesn't mean that down the road we can't engage them in some sort of rev share model for bigger play. We just haven't done that at this point.
Right. Well, it's a great opportunity. I just worry what happens in month 3, 4, 5, 6, right? When there's other news, you're no longer new, right? So what happens then?
Right. Well, we have some insulation from that, in that our owner, John, is very tight with the CEO and ownership of HubSpot. In fact, we built this product after direct meetings with them to get their views on how this would work with their clients, what types of features would they like to see. And so a lot of the features of our product are a direct result of conversations we've had with HubSpot. We don't have an exclusive partnership, but it doesn't, they're very particular about who they give access to products to on their platform, because that's their reputation as well. And so the barrier to entry to someone else building a product like this and soliciting them is that they have to prove that they're as good or better than us. And they may not even get in the door just because there's already a product out there that HubSpot people are using.
So there's no, just my last comment question related to this. So there's no other products that HubSpot is promoting or was in their network similar to yours? I'd be surprised at that, but is that true?
No, that's not true. They do have those, but those are the big guys. So Kapost and NewsCred are actual partners of HubSpot.
Right.
The challenge for the SMB, which is a large portion of their, and I don't have the numbers on how much play those guys are getting. The problem with the SMBs, though, is they can't afford the $900 HubSpot subscription plus another $2,000 to $10,000 for NewsCred or Kapost. And so that's where we come in, a kind of a low price point player.
Got it. Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Absolutely welcome.
Hi, it's Gord again here. Just taking a look at the sort of investment opportunity. You're looking for $500,000 on a $5 million valuation. 500 seems a little bit light just on the surface of things. Can you talk a bit about your burn and where does $500,000 get you?
So our burn right now, as I said, we're through phase one of the build, and so that burn is done. That's already sunk. The next $500,000 will get us through iteration 2 of the product, which we feel is a much lighter burn. We don't have a lot of overhead right now. It's basically the team that I just showed you and some 1099 contractors doing customer support. So this $500,000 will allow us to get to next October, which we will have 140 clients on the books after attrition that will be generating enough income for the company to kind of start self-funding, if you will. In fact, with this investment, we become cash positive July 2015.
So $500,000 gets you a year's worth of burn. That's pretty good.
That seems ambitious.
Yeah.
So we got 1 minute left for questions. If anybody else has anything else.
This is Brad. I have one more question. So $500 to $700 per customer, and I see how there's the opportunity for upsell. Obviously you have a cost, right, in terms of what you're doing to some degree. What's the gross margin per new client?
It's substantial because we don't. I mean, our operating costs right now are fairly low, and we don't have any. So we don't have any staff component right now, and the software is built. So someone coming onto the system does not add additional cost to us, and our hosting fees are substantially low. Our bandwidth fees are substantially low. Gross margins are super high. I mean, I have the performance up. I don't have time to show you, but I mean, you can see that we have, fairly substantial margins on what we're doing as far as with what we're burning.
Okay, so there's most content, even the platforms tend to have some labor involved to some degree, but you've sort of cut that all out then. It's all automated, almost programmatic, it sounds like.
Yeah, and that was the deal. We wanted to make the whole thing pretty much intuitive, self-sufficient, and that doesn't mean we don't have any labor involved with it. We've got the customer support side of it, and we've got an algorithm that scales that support commensurate with the number of customers we have online. So the Performa kind of takes into account all of those variables and ratchets us up.
Dave, thanks very much. Nice job.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to now be handing it over to Carla McKay with Crushed. And Carla, you should be unmuted now.
So it's wonderful. So the nice thing is, since it's after 6 o'clock Eastern, East Coast time, now it's time to talk about wine. So, hey, we're super excited to be participating in today's event, and really the impetus for Crush came about after 20 years in corporate America.
Carla, I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen yet, or your presentation?
Here we go. Okay, you should see my screen.
Okay, great.
Wonderful. Okay, here we go. So thanks, everyone. About 2 years ago for work, I was traveling to different wine regions, drinking wines, taking classes, and really advising clients and friends on wine, yet I had no tool to support me, and really no wine apps met my needs as a wine consumer and a wine professional. So I saw a huge opportunity to build a better wine app. As a CEO and founder of Crushed Wine App, I'm excited to introduce you to really a new generation of wine apps in Crushed. But let's take a look at the current world of wine, and the numbers don't lie. It's a $34.6 billion revenue, up 18% since 2011. That's a $15 billion increase. But amidst all this growth, which should absolutely excite the investors on the phone, we as shoppers and consumers are overwhelmed by wine choices. We seek information from our friends, and we go to social media for help. So the current U.S. wine landscape, we're at a 30-year high. There's over 220 million adults in the U.S. who 132 of them report to drinking alcoholic beverages. 46.2 million of us drink wine, and in other words, that's 194 million glasses of wine a week. But how are these poor consumers making decisions? And look at this, there's about 1 billion decisions being made about wine every week from over 10,000 wine brands. And where do we turn? We turn to social media. The record shows 7,000 tweets about wine every day, 1.5 million conversations on Facebook and Instagram. Wine is social. So we created Crush to really be that conduit. We created the first true social sharing wine app to allow wine consumers to track, search, and share what they're doing with wine. We tie in with Facebook and Twitter. We have an activity log, so every time you use Crush to track a wine, you actually have a way to refer back to it to make a better purchase decision the next time you're faced with trying to remember what that wine was that you had that you liked. And we kept our simple principle is to make it simple and easy to use. So because I don't have time to take you through a demo, what's nice is that we're live in the iTunes store. So these are 2 screenshots from the app. You're 2 or 3 clicks away from socially sharing what you're drinking. And then what's nice is you can then have access to the entire Crushed community. We're at over 5,000 users today. Now I like to say here in San Francisco, we're at the global intersection of wine and technology. But the wine market is not just media and restaurants and wine lists. Wine events have really sprung up over the last couple of years, and I just did a research poll to see that there's in upwards of 60 wine events in New York and San Francisco alone. So we smartly, because I have a business development background, we set out to build 3 revenue channels in the app to help support ourselves. So we power events around the country. Companies hire us to allow their users to track, search, and share what they're doing at the events, and most importantly, remember what they liked the next day after 5 glasses of wine. We have a club channel in the app, and that's where wine brands can promote deals to our desirable eyeballs. And then we just kicked off our new webinar series with St. Superi, and this is another good distribution platform, kind of a 2.0 platform for wine brands to market to the folks in Crushed. So here is some of the happy Crushed and folks. We just powered an event in Boston, and that was a lot of fun. So guess what? We've already got traction. We have been approached by some of the major wine brands, wine companies who have said, we really like what you're doing, we want to be a part of it. We have a team of 8, and we're growing as we speak. So we have heavy hitters in technology, social media. We even have 2 in-house sommeliers. So let me tell you about the Crush history. We were created in the summer of 2012.
So Carla, just a 1-minute warning for you.
That's wonderful. So we've raised about $400,000 to date from friends and family rounds. We launched in iTunes in December of 2013. We are launching version 5 of some really cool additional new functionality this week in the app. So we have a solid revenue model and the experience and business to succeed. We've had some great press, which we're really proud of, but I'm excited to share that this month's Everyday with Rachel Ray magazine listed us with 2 of the big players as a must-have wine app. So we're loving the press. So what are we seeking? We're seeking an investment of $500,000 to build that kind of next generation of functionality. We're looking to build for Android and hire an in-house CTO developer and help us take our marketing and PR up a notch. So we're super excited what we're doing. We hope you all download Crushed, and I look forward to continuing discussions. Thank you.
Hey, this is Joe Rubin. Very nice presentation. Can you go back to the slide where how much money you're raising now and where that will take you in terms of, maybe I missed it, I didn't see it. Okay, what
Yeah.
are the terms of your offering?
Yeah, so we value Crush at about a $2 million valuation. So a 500K investment would give you about 25% ownership in Crushed. And we're looking for that 500,000 to help us build the geolocation, as well as we have a commitment from a major wine brand at about $150,000 to build events functionality to support their wine events. And our thought is, rather than go in with another partner, it might make sense for us to build it and then sell it to them and all the other wine events who do not have apps to support their events. We want to implement a buy-channel. Wine.com is a partner who said, we want to sell through your app, and then we want to build for Android. And as you can see, hire some folks in-house. So that's a that's a lot, but I'm happy to answer more about that.
Okay, and how long will that 500K last you? What's your monthly burn right now, or what do you expect it to be after you?
Well, so what's nice is we've spent about $250,000 to date. As I mentioned, we raised $400K, so we have about $150K in the bank. And the good thing is we have friends and family who really believe in us. So we do have a buffer. I would say our monthly burn rate is pretty low. So we just finished our latest round of functionality, and we're looking to really, market it. So, we're looking at about a, 20K burn rate, 25K burn rate right now, monthly. So not bad. And then
I'm sorry, I just want to make just a quick comment regarding that. I think your valuation is very fair. Your investment size is very fair, and it's actually refreshing to see that, because the previous company had, I think, a very high valuation for such an early stage company. I'm seeing that a lot, and it is good to see that you're pricing your business according to where you actually are right now, as opposed to where you anticipate being in a year. So nicely done on that side.
thank you. I think that's because I spent 20 years in corporate America, so I have a little bit more experience under my belt to know, yeah, we want to do this right. But hopefully we'll become a $5, $10, $50 million company someday.
This is Brad. Hi, I enjoyed your presentation as well.
Hey,
I'm a big wine drinker myself. I was involved. I used to live in Silicon Valley. I was involved for about 10 years in a wine collective. We won a lot of gold and double gold medals and wine events, etc. So I've made
Nice.
wine and have a lot of appreciation for it. I have a wine cellar myself. And I've actually looked at a couple different wine deals, wine app deals, I guess you can say.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were talking here, I downloaded your application. I have it on my iPhone right now. I'm looking at it as we speak. A couple questions. What I don't see in the product right now, I see the ability to share, and I think you've done a very good job with that as I'm looking how you go about that. Very good. It seems to me, though, for wine apps, this might just be me talking, that there's sort of three major sets of functionality, and I see others having this functionality. And I'd like to know kind of where you fall into this category. Is this something that's coming, or is it there and I'm not seeing it? So I think the three areas are, you have one, which is sharing.
Yep.
The other two, though, and certainly for me, the ones that would be much more important, would be a database of wine. So if I see something in a menu, I can look at it and look it up and get a feel for it, what its rank, what the Parker points are, that kind of thing. And then secondly, the second key feature functionality, I think, and I've been looking for a good app that would do it, is, I go to restaurants, I'll order new wine, and I want to record that. I don't want to share it, actually. Maybe others do, and I see that being an important feature as well. I just want to record it. I would give it an 88. I thought it had fruity taste, but high tannins, and maybe what the cost was. Maybe take a picture of the label and get that all kind of like my personal database. Are either of those two sets of functionality something you're considering for the app?
Brad, I knew I liked you before I met you. So those two pieces of functionality are actually in the app currently. So
Okay.
if you go to the share screen, if you go to find your wine, we actually are powered by Snooth, which is a very large wine brand, and we felt they had a best-in-class wine database. So right now you can do a lookup, either type, search, or scan a barcode, and that feeds data from the Snooth database. And then what's nice is anything that you are posting, so taking a photo, looking up the information. If you hit post, you don't have to share to your Facebook. Once you hit post, it then goes into your profile, so you have your own kind of personal database that you're building. And we do have search available, so you can search for that wine a month out, 6 months out, to be able to find it when you're in a wine store or in a restaurant.
Excellent. All right, I'm seeing that now. I see the ad photo. All right, well, I'm going to play with your app. I'm interested. Very nice. It's a very nice looking app and very easy to use. I think you're right about that as I'm playing with it here. What about monetization? How do you make money on this eventually?
Well, so right now we actually, as I mentioned, we do have price points. I did not list that on the slides. So we do charge to power events in the $5,000 to $10,000 range per event. We're right now we're selling our webinars at about $2,500 to $5K, depending on how large a reach. And we do have the Crush Club. We have a two-tier model, so companies can either post a couple posts a month, or they can have an unlimited amount of posting. So we do have a revenue stream. To be honest, we have to continue to grow our user base in order to get some of those high dollar amounts. But we are starting to see money come in, and we know we're on the right track with these three revenue streams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wine. Others are really looking at the winemakers, seeing that as a very key, and maybe, and I know in one case the primary monetization avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate your answers.
Thank you. What about my friends in Vancouver and New York? So Joe, I spent a lot of time in New York City, and you live in an amazing wine city. So I'm sure you have a question about Crushed.
Sorry, I don't know if we.
I guess.
I think Gordon, are you still with us in Vancouver?
Yeah, sorry guys. Gordon is still here. I'm having some phone issues. The landline's just all crashed here.
The landline.
In the building.
Landline.
So I just went old school. I dialed into my BlackBerry here, and let's hope it lasts. But I apologize. I missed most of the presentation, but I do love wine.
Hey, and well, Gordon, I'd be happy to
yeah.
meet with you. I'd be happy to give you the presentation some other time.
You know what? I'd be happy to listen to it. I saw the deck go through here, and it's really interesting. I've seen some similar stuff, and we've actually been involved with some locals up here that are same kind of app. So I'd be interested to chat with you.
That's great.
Well, Gordon, don't worry. We are recording the webinar, and you'll be able to watch this in the next couple days.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Any last questions from Brad or Joe before we move on?
No, I'm good. Thank you. Presentation.
I have one last question. What's the marketing plan? I see marketing/PR, but obviously there's a lot more to that. I know you're doing events, but I think marketing is going to be real important for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So actually we just hired a second social media manager who actually hails from one of our partners, Bottle Notes, and she is really big on re-engaging. We had a great New York PR firm that we worked with when we launched. We saw so much traction. We decided not to continue to invest in them because it's very expensive. But I think now that we're starting to raise more funds, we'd like to hire a PR firm and then have our new social media director really focus on marketing, because there's a lot of new ways to do marketing. Besides the old traditional social media ways. So yeah, we're very focused on getting the word out, because I think this app will have a lot of traction in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Well, Carla, thanks very much. Really nice job.
Thanks.
And
thanks, Bob.
We're going to hand it over now to Amir Zanozi at Zoomf. So just give me a second to change over to him. And, let me make sure he is. And Amir, you're unmuted now, and we can see your screen.
All right. Thanks a lot, Bob. Brad, Gordon, Joe, pleasure to meet all of you, and to the rest of the presenters as well. Let me just full screen this So I'm going to apologize in advance. I didn't realize how investor focused this show and tell was. So I might not have all the numbers in front of me, but you'll see how well I do when I scramble. So we're Zoom. We collect and rank social media content in real time. Unlike a lot of the companies that have been presenting, we've just hit our second year. We've been growing very quickly, getting a lot of traction. We're growing 37% each month. Our story is that we started with the State Department. So we have a parent company that we're splitting off from. We did work for President Obama and Hillary Clinton. We'll actually be behind President Obama tomorrow as he talks about Ebola response at the UN. So we started with the government. We had a lot of social media tools that were available to us. We didn't like them. We started hacking them. They loved it. We loved it. They started recommending us outside of the State Department, and we realized that we had a product on our hands that we unintentionally created as a solution to our problems. So what we do is, and what makes us stand apart from everyone else out there in the industry, is that we focus on contextualized influence. And what that means is that everything that comes in from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+, we collect it and rank it in real time based on the amount of engagement that they generate. So we're looking at what is important specifically to you at that moment, and then we give you the ability to control this content on Jumbotron screens, on your website as a widget for like restaurants and small businesses as like customer testimonials or social hubs. Our company started in 2012. We've got 12 people on our team. We're looking to raise $1 million. We've raised $2 million so far from MetroStar, so we're self-funded. We're looking to use that money to expand our sales and marketing and account management as we've been growing right now. So we've seen a lot of traction in sports and entertainment, retail as well. Primarily, you'll see us in event-based. A lot of event-based companies will come use us for their events. And I'll show you what this all looks like in a second. It's a lot easier to show it than kind of talk about it on here. So how it works is just like we search based on a search terms. You pull the content in, we run analytics on it, and then we pump that out to different visualizations. And now I'm going to just show you what it kind of looks like. I know we're not supposed to display some of this content that might be moving, but I never follow the rules too well. So here's content. Here's an example of being able to do this. So Dove's Men's Care came to us for the Real Dad Moments campaign. You might be familiar with it. They were using it all last year for Father's Day. So they take the Twitter content that they search, we rank and collect it, we modify it, we have filters, and then we can create them on different visualizations. So you see like Mary Kay, Cosmo 17, they use this for campus tours. You kind of get the picture here. We're working with the New York Giants as well, and show you an image of that. So we're on these giant pylons, and what we're doing is we're updating content in real time. So people are taking selfies as they're coming in, and they're using that to engage back with them. Now what we're doing is we're capturing a lot more than that. We're getting information that we can export to a CRM. So we have stuff like polls, Twitter polls, that as people answer them, we're saving that information so that later you can target email blast them based on the answer choices that they had, so you have a more targeted approach. But we do it in a fun, engaging way that the users are engaging with. So you're seeing like they're getting fantasy tweets, polls, images for like fan experience. So some of our main clients are the Baltimore Orioles, New York Giants, State Department. We work with the New York Marathon and so forth. I mean, I'll just go to the questions now, but I'll just kind of hop through along with some of these slides to kind of show you like what we do.
Hi, Amir.
This is Brad. I'll get started.
Go ahead, Brad.
Oh, okay. All right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'll go first, I guess. So, yeah, this is interesting. Keep going through what you're doing. I'm still trying to fully understand what you're doing. So I understand you're doing engagement stuff on web. The billboard thing or whatever that was in Giant Stadium I thought was really interesting. Doesn't need necessarily be just, that. It doesn't necessarily need to be just on a computer. But I'm still not totally clear on what you're doing.
Okay.
So I mean, that's very engaging graphics. I see that.
Yes.
I certainly appreciate how voting on polls is a form of engagement. I'm invested in a company that does polling, right? So I totally know that. So
Yeah.
Maybe you can give me the elevator pitch one more time.
Sure. So what we do is we allow clients to set. So we have we start at $15. We're targeting SMBs, and then there's different packages based on the amount of data and the amount of features that you would like. So we start very low so that we can, attract these SMBs and bloggers and stuff like that, so they can activate social engagements on their websites. And then we also work with the big fish, where we create these customized solutions, we provide services, and we use that to kind of fund the platform for the smaller SMBs and different features that they have. So they would log into the system, and I can show you what that looks like. And they have like a dashboard to collect and rank content based off their search terms. So in this example, like if we were doing the Washington Wizards, they would set up the feed, select which social platforms they'd like to use. We can get very general or specific. They can look at competitors. They can track themselves and know what's working and not working. And then based off that, we're giving you the ability to approve and reject content that's coming into the system. We have sentiment analysis, so you can quickly decipher something positive or negative. We have content that has filters so that it'll automatically moderate this for you. Then we have iOS and Android apps to help people as they go. Now we also have analytics that runs on the content as well, so that at all time they're understanding what's going on. We have heat map, location, top influencers. Everything we do uses influencer methodology, so we're looking for people that create action when they speak. So every 2 days, Twitter gets 1 billion tweets. How do you organize that content? How do you know, is this someone that's important that I need to listen to, or is this just some like spam account or something that's random? We're giving that ability to quickly decipher from all that content the most important posts, most important content. And then with that, we have multiple array of tools that you can do with it, whether it's polls, whether it's understanding where your content's coming from. We can do geofences on specific cities and targets, so we can understand who the top influencers are based on that and approve and reject on that. For example, the New York Marathon in November, they're going to use this with 9 jumbotrons across the entire race. Every tweet that mentions a certain borough will go to a specific screen in like Brooklyn, Manhattan, Staten Island, and so forth. And then they'll have the web engagement, so they'll have a social hub that aggregates all of their content in one location. And then they're going to have touchscreen kiosks at the expo, where they're going to be able to see the geo content, and then each borough will light up as someone tweets from it or Instagrams from it, and they can do a U.S. World or U.S. or New York view. Is that
very helpful? Yeah, that second pass was now I see what you're doing. I think there's a lot of value there. So I see that. Actually, my last question, I'll hand it to the other guys, is your pricing actually seems pretty low. This seems to be pretty high value. Is there different pricing for some of these sports teams, or how does that work?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we start at $15, but it really is not a lot that you can do as far as customization-wise, and that's just to get wide access and get people into the platform. With the high-end clients, we have it's $295 for just the premium package, but for the data that they consume. So, for example, Coca-Cola is spending like $4,950 a month. So just to support that data for us to serve it and for them to be able to analyze it in real time. So we do it in a way that for each organization, there's a package that fits with them, and we make it incredibly cost effective. So if you are a small blogger, you can still use these effective tools to what you need. And then if you are the New York Giants, you can use this to organize your entire social media campaign just from one account, and you can have a package that works for you as well.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who exactly? Hey, this is Joe Rubin. Who exactly is your client? Who's paying? Is it the fans? Is it the teams? I'm not sure.
Great question. So it's the teams. So they usually work with their social media marketing team or their CTOs, CMOs, and stuff like that. Or they'll have it sponsored. So for example, the Orioles, they were using this display. AT&T is sponsoring it for $20,000. Our teams love it because it gives them an ability to target specific content, and it gives them the ability to sponsor it out, which is the main. Usually, what you see in sports right now is a lot of mechanical marketing. So they have those just posters and stuff like this. This gives them the ability to have multiple sponsors. We can update this, on the fly. All it takes is a refresh, since all it is a web URL, and then you have different sponsors. So, for example, the Washington Wizards uses as a second screen during live games. So think of it as a second screen. So if I'm a fan, I'm not at the game, I can have everything social on one page, all the stats there, but we give them the ability to run ads inside that social media content as well. So it gives them a lot of ability to generate a lot of money off of it. So they love it.
Amir, this is Gordon here. Can you just talk about the history a little bit? I think you mentioned that this is a carve-out or a spin-off. Is that right?
Yeah, so MetroStar Systems was our parent company, and we were the digital team for MetroStar Systems. So we started working on projects with the State Department. We assisted President Barack Obama for a live Twitter Q&A town hall, and then we also assisted Hillary Clinton with a freedom of speech. We monitored before, during, and after her speech. So we used a lot of social media tools that were out there. They didn't really solve what we were trying to get. So we had our developers from MetroStar kind of help us kind of hack the rules a little bit to get what we want. So they loved it. It started taking off, and it went from like one of those, like a Google X project, something that like we only got 20% of time to. So we've grown to a point where we split off from the company, and now that we're looking for investment.
So, okay, so as a follow-up, so while at MetroStar, I guess what you're saying is a lot of the development cost was fronted while it was part of MetroStar. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
At this point, all we need is support for the clients that are coming in now, while we still have a development team.
So when it was carved out, so I mean, presumably this is a carve-out situation. What was the value that was ascribed to it when it separated?
So it's in the process of separation right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's about $6 million, $8 million,
okay,
as far as the valuation that's going right now.
Okay, and sorry if I missed it. What's the ask against that $6 million valuation? How much are you looking for?
Oh, we were looking for $1 million.
Okay. No, it looks cool. I mean, I'm probably the least technical savvy guy on the panel here, so my head is spinning a little bit. I'm probably going to have to watch the presentation or have a one-on-one with you. But I agree. It looks pretty. It's pretty slick. I mean,
thank you.
On the MetroStar side, how much money was spent while it was over at MetroStar putting this together? Did you have that number?
$2 million. $2 million.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Amir, I've got a question from an audience member. Do you have the ability to white label, or is this direct to consumer only? And
so we have.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. So we have 3 different packages. The premium package, we offer XML white labeling, so clients can go in there themselves. So Time Inc. used us for the Grammys and the Oscars with Entertainment Weekly to portray their entire social engagement for the entire event. The whole thing was run on our pipes, our back-end system, but they created the entire front end. So we do allow that complete white labelization. And then we also offer services as well. So we give you the option if you want to customize it, you have the technical know-how, which is kind of what we prefer. We'd rather be, platform, service only, or, software as a service only, but we do provide services as well.
Okay, great. So we just have time for one more quick question, if there is any. Joe, did you have anything?
Make it a hard one. Keeps me on my toes.
Okay. So, Amir, thanks very much. Very nice job.
Thank you, gentlemen.
So we are going to now move on to, we're moving right along to our 5th company, MobiMed, with Lou Auguste. and I'm going to switch over to him. And Lou, you should be the presenter now, and your audio is now unmuted.
Okay, everybody sees my screen and everybody can hear me well?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Hey, my name is Lou August. I'm founder and CEO of CookieSmart. And CookieSmart is a mobile apps company, and we've done TV remote controls for a few years now for major companies like Virgin Media, Liberty Global. But now we're spinning off a new company, or we're starting a new company called MoviMed. And what we do is something, it's a medical device. We do whole slide imaging. So, well, this is a little bit of background. We've won 2 innovation awards in the UK. I was selected as one of the Virgin Media pioneers last year. We've partnered before with UCLH and BMJ, RNIB, Virgin Media. We've been in a few incubators, HealthBox, NYU Poly. Really what we're thinking about is, like, imagine if you were the only pathologist in your city. I know this is a tough one for a lot of people because no one's really a pathologist, but imagine you were the only one. In developing countries, this is typically true, where you average 2 to 4 pathologists per 10 million citizens. It takes these pathologists on average between 1 to 3 months to return biopsy results, and without a diagnosis, patients can't be in treatment. So lost times means lost lives. So this is a little bit about digital telepathology. I'm not going to read this whole to you because I don't have a lot of time, but telepathology basically means being able to exchange images in a way so that a doctor on the other side can view it, while whole slide imaging means capturing all the information contained on one slide. That's different than what's called dynamic imaging, where they just take a small little portion of the slide and send that piece of the slide. So this is our market opportunity, what we're looking at right now. This is in the States. This is in the US here. So the current market size just for whole slide imaging devices is $55 to $60 million a year. The current market is dominated by Aperio, and that's got 2/3 of the install base. And currently we've looked at it, and there's between 6,800 and 7,000 labs within the United States. Of those labs, only 700 to 750 have there are only 700 to 750 whole slide systems installed, and only at 500 labs. So that's a real big discrepancy. That's only a 14% uptake as we see it. And as we said, the market is dominated by these companies, Aperio, Hamamatsu, and Leica, who are charging for their units between 80 and 150,000. Why aren't people taking these? Because it's unaffordable for most small labs. If you have a pathologist makes on average per year $300,000 to $350,000 a year. That's the average salary for a pathologist. So if you're running your own lab and there's like 2 or 3 pathologists in that lab, imagine the hit that you have to take to purchase something that's $150,000. Also, these file sizes are enormous. These are big physical installs that need to be serviced, and the workflows themselves are still inefficient right now. Now, I'm going to show you a comparison right here. These are not the same samples. These are just comparative samples. So what you have on the left-hand side here is an image made with the desktop slide scanner, and that's coming in at 2.42 gigabytes. And on the right side is you have an image made with our mobile slide scanning system, MoviMed, and it's coming in at 16 megabytes. So here's an up-close comparison example. As you can see, they're both of a diagnostic quality. Our system really, our cost right now is $250, and we could blow that out to be a lot of different other costs involved in that as well. Our edge is we're a patent-pending method of acquisition. Our images are easily transportable. We're really affordable, and we're the first to market in this space of using cell phones to produce whole slide imaging. Just so you know, the 2 other patents that are in whole slide imaging, one's owned by Leica and one's owned by Olympus. So that's sort of where that's at.
So Lou, I got to give you a 1 minute warning.
Okay, cool. So here's a couple pieces. This is what the adapter looks like, sort of just graphically. These are all things that are already created. This is what we call our Pocket EHR, which is sort of a system that we use that stands side by side with our system. So we're able to exchange images using our Pocket EHR system. This is also, it's good for a lot of other cases. So a lot of people that don't have electronic health records, they could just have this set up right on their phone. And there's a cost involved with that as well. We have an image acquisition app. And right now we're looking to develop our stitching program for PC and Mac. We're looking to develop our conference calling version. And we're looking to develop our servo for robotic and remote control of the microscope stage. Our progress to date, we launched our first clinical long-term study in Haiti in November of last year. We launched our first US clinical validation study last month at North Shore LIJ. We've finished the Pocket EHR app, that's done. We've finished the new adapter design, we've printed those are done. And we're currently looking to develop an alternative proprietary acquisition method using the Android phones.
So Lou, I'll have to,
have nothing but good things to say.
Lou, I'm going to have to cut you off there, I'm sorry.
Sure, okay, no problem. So this is kind of what we're looking at for investment, just as sort of our thoughts as what we need investment for right now. Yeah, go ahead, guys. Question away.
Also, Brad, I'll go first. Interestingly enough, many years ago I was on the technical side, and I worked for a video conferencing company called VTEL, and I participated in 1994, I think it was, in the very first international standards for telepathology. Actually, nice, ironically, how many years? Good God, 20 years ago now. I can't say I'm fully up to speed, right? It was a long time ago, but so some of the things that are triggering may not be as relevant as they were back then. But here are my questions, I guess. So the image quality is obviously very, very important. Your image quality looked good, but doctors are very hesitant to do things that are new, that aren't fully validated by clinical studies. The FDA is going to give you a tough time on that as well. So talk to me about what it's going to take to get through FDA, to get doctors using this, to get them over the fear of a new system that might have inferior image quality.
Right. Well, I mean, inferior image quality is something that I would debate because right now I was just hanging out with one of the sales reps from Sakura, and they're using WebEx to actually transfer their images over the net. So that's not really something that is like too impressive. And the camera that you have on a cell phone is actually almost the same quality as the camera they have inside these large machines. So that's just image quality. In terms of FDA certification, yes, that is indeed a hurdle. And you know what? I think this round for this raise, our best move is to actually build the business outside of America while we're waiting for FDA certification. And then once we get FDA certification, raise an additional round. It's all about building users right now. And the system, it's ready to go. Users can buy in for a very small amount of money. And we're looking to really build it up in developing world nations right now as sort of a goodwill story and get a lot of good press out of that. And at the same time, we're going to publish as many clinical validation studies as possible. We're already connected with the BMJ, which is the British Medical Journal. They came along and they gave us our first little bit of funding that got us started with this grant. And so we've got a good kind of pipeline going into clinical validation studies. And we've already started our first one here in America. So that's going to be good. And we're looking to publish that before the end of the year. And we're ready to start. With what we're doing down in Haiti, we're working with cytologists. So it's a different study. And we're going back down there in November to continue that study. So that's a long-term study that we're working on down there.
Are you connecting the, okay, so I like that. I like how you're going to third world countries. That makes sense, right? You sidestep all the U.S. doctors and all their biases and the FDA and all that. So that makes total sense, of course, the FDA will even take some of that clinical data, as you probably know, right, from other countries. Very common way to get through FDA.
100%.
So I like all that. So you capture the images. Where does that go? Are you setting up a service center of folks that would be able? You must be, right? So how does that work?
So right now the way we're doing it is on a one-to-one basis. So we find a pathologist who has a cause. A lot of pathologists are actually doing work in third world countries. So we've got people that are looking to work in Bhutan, in Peru, in the Caribbean. You know, so we're building a relationship that way right now. Because of our current funding, we don't have enough money to actually build a call center or anything like that to handle any diagnostics. So we're just using doctors that want to do this, and there's a lot of doctors that want to do this, and we're offering them a way to stay in touch with the places that they're going to work in the developing world.
So the doctor stays at home, yet still can provide services to Haiti or Africa or somewhere like that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, 100%.
But they don't get. Do they get paid for that? How do they get paid?
No, it's on a goodwill basis right now.
I see. I see. Kind of pro bono. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, these are things we're looking to develop as we move forward, developing the business model. But right now, you know, it's all about for us just finding people who want to be part of this and who are looking to help out. And it's a goodwill story, you know. That's how we built it for now.
Oh, I like that. I mean, that is goodwill. I would encourage you to kind of work the business model out very quickly.
Oh, sure.
It's going to be hard to raise money just saying you're doing goodwill. So I think how the doctor gets paid, I think you have to work all that out.
If you want our business model, I could totally talk to you about our business model. That's a much longer conversation that involves kind of like how we're going to move forward over the next few years. And I definitely could have you come talk to us, or we could do a conference call with the other members of my company to talk about how we could actually move this forward. No problem.
Okay, good. All right, well, yeah, thanks for all that. It's very exciting what you're working on. The world needs this, so thank you.
Sure, no problem.
This is Gordon here. How much money have you put into this, has been sunk in so far?
Not too much, actually. We spent $50K so far, and I think we've delivered an amazing amount of already pieces of this project for $50,000. I've had my own company, like I said, I built TV remotes, and I've had that company for a few years now. So I try not to cross-pollinate too much. I just kind of we've raised some money from the UK government. The BMJ gave us a little bit of cash, and that's really all that's gotten us to this point so far.
Yeah, that's impressive that you've accomplished all that with 50,000. Good job. I maybe missed it, but what is the ask right now, and against what valuation is it?
Well, we're talking right now to a number of companies. Right now, we're looking to raise about 2.5 for our first round, but we'd be happy to go through an angel round right now. It's sort of an early round while we're waiting for a Series A to kind of kick off. Where we'd be happy to do that for 100, 250,000, kind of something like that.
So
in terms of our valuation,
pardon? Are you playing with? What valuation are you playing with right now?
Right. So as I said to you, most of our valuation is based on our IP. So given the fact that the two other people that own patents within this field are Leica and Olympus, and the previous company that fully developed their product sold their company for $100 million, we would think that right now, just on the strength of our early validation studies and our IP, we can get a valuation of about $10 million.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? What was the valuation?
Just on our IP and early valuation studies, we think our valuation of our company is around $10 million.
Okay.
Like that means if you ask me to buy my patent right now, that would be my asking price for my patent.
So has the patent been issued, or is it in process? It's
in process. But
it's in process. Okay.
We filed for our patent pending status March of this year, so we should have our answer back within a few months. But I mean, I've hired Fish Richardson, kind of one of the premier patent attorney companies, to do the research, to check it out, and it's everything's looking good as far as we're concerned in terms of our patent.
You submitted it in March of this year, you said?
Yes.
You're on a fast track program then, I assume?
No, it's one year. That's all patents are. We've already published the patent, so you could view it if you want. We've got 1 year until we know for sure if we've got the patent.
Unless you're on a fast track, patents will take you 2.5 to 3 years.
Not as far as we know. We were told by our lawyers that in 1 year we'll have our answer back, and then we have to resubmit if they have any changes that we have to commit to, and then we'll resubmit at that point. So we're looking forward to hearing back from the patent office. My lawyers could have fast-tracked it. That's a possibility, definitely.
There has to be a fast-track program for that to happen, like they did for energy in 2010. There could be a fast-track program here. 1 year is very aggressive. I do a lot of patents, but your lawyers probably know better than I. Okay,
right.
Very good.
So just a question again on the amount you're looking for, 2.5. What are you sort of basing that on? I mean, you've got obviously a revenue model that's baked out here. Can you describe maybe the size of the market? Where does $2.5 million get you? Does that get you to break even? I mean, where does that get you? Maybe I missed it.
I mean, $2.5 million. That's what we're going to need to get FDA certification and get to market in America. That's sort of what we're looking at in terms of that number. That we think that can get us to launch in America with a sales force already in place, with doctors already in place, ready to do this work. That's what we're looking for in that case. Otherwise, I mean, basically the way we've grown this company is we've grown it very organically, piece by piece. So whenever we have time in between projects, or whenever we have time, we have 2 months here and there, we put together another piece of the project. And we've been really happy developing like that. But with a real investment, what we could do is hire on enough people, enough developers, enough engineers to actually get this product to market in a much quicker time frame.
Okay, so just one more question for me, and then I'll shut up. So on this slide that's up right now, current market, you say the market size is $60 million a year, and then the next slide, market dominated by, I think that's Aperio, if I'm pronouncing that, with
that's
two-thirds install. Does that mean that are you saying there that they've got two-thirds of that 60 million, or what do you mean?
That's exactly what I'm saying. They are the most commonly used whole slide scanner on the market right now. And they've got two-thirds of the installs. But if you do look at the number of labs in the United States and number of labs with installs right now, that's really what we think is our market right there. We really think we're creating a new market, because it's for the labs that will say first and foremost, we can't afford that. We can't afford a $120,000 machine.
So you're saying, okay, so the $60 million a year is based on those big expensive machines, and you're saying you're going to displace that and also open up a whole bunch of new doors with smaller labs and clinics that'll embrace your technology. It's basically the pitch.
Well, I mean, for us, we do look at, we're not trying to say displace Aperio for like their machines. What we think is like our real market is this between 68, 100 labs and the 500 labs with installs. We think that's where our market lies. So let's just say that's 6,000 to 6,500 labs within the United States. We don't currently have a system in place right now, and that's just the United States.
So we're well past our 10 minutes. I apologize. We're going to have to cut it off there. Lou, very nice job. Thank you. So we're going into our last presentation. Kyle Taylor from Red Komodo. Joe, Brad, and Gordon, I'm going to be sending you the telephone number through the chat for after this last presentation for the brief side meeting to determine the winner. But right now we're going to hand it over to Kyle. And Kyle, you should be able to share your screen now, and you're now unmuted.
Excellent. Can everyone hear me?
Yep, hear you well.
All right, excellent. Good evening. I'd like to thank all the panelists for taking their time to listen to us and webinar with us, as well as the other presenters. Everybody did a great job. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kyle Taylor. I am the founder of the Red Komodo, which is a mobile application company, and we are ushering in the future of mobile agreements and document verification with the Agreed app. It's currently available to download on your iPhone and iPad, so I definitely suggest you guys could check it out if you have that available. So like everybody, I'm sure you've experienced the hassle of printing, scanning, and emailing signed documents. A lot of, and the funny part about it is the majority of small businesses and organizations today, they are still faxing and scanning and printing out and signing documents and emailing them. And they're losing a lot of time, and they're losing a lot of energy, and they're spending a lot of money on, printer, fax machine fixes, printer fixes, all of that. And what the solution is to that is the electronic signature industry. Now, the Agreed app, we created this as a competitor to those that are in the market Similar to your DocuSign, your Right Signature, HelloSign, SignEasy, all of those other competitors. But the thing that really separates us from the competition is, one, our product is fast and easy to use. So it's not like you're opening up a product that feels like you're in a legal office and you're trying to figure out how to send a signature or add a signature to a document or upload it. We give you a fully easy user interface, easy to navigate. Another key aspect is our product is the first e-signature app that offers verification through audio, video, and picture. And now what that means is we are embedding this digital media into the document as a link. We're not attaching it. Attachments can get lost in transition, emails. You want to have future reference, and you can verify who and what is being signed for with that digital media. One thing that I won't get too deep into right now just because of time constraints is the app utilizes our patent pending Sign Bundle API. Something quick about that is, a lot of the information that you see here for Mr. Luke Anthony, a lot of that information is going into his signature. So what we're going to be building in the future is people will be able to basically have a digital wallet that is their signature. But that's different from the actual product that's available now. So back to the product, it's easy to navigate. When people set up their profile, they're asked to add a signature and their initials, so that means signature consistency. So you now have to worry about every time you pull up a document, signing it and having it be legible every single time. You can place multiple signatures, multiple initials, and multiple text onto your documents. Now with our verification aspect, some examples would be, you can add an audio of a verbal commitment, if you're in the legal field. Let's say you have a picture of an ID or a license or a certificate that verifies, a service or a sale or, your rank in an organization. Someone might
Kyle, I think we lost your audio. Are you still with us?
subcontracting and facilities management.
Hey,
and
Kyle.
Also another feature. Yes.
Kyle, unfortunately, you cut out there for the last 30 seconds. You want to just repeat your last slide there?
Sure. This is the verification aspect. You can add a verbal commitment if you're in the legal realm. If you can add a picture of an ID or a license or certificate that can verify who's actually signing this document, which is very key when it comes to audit purposes and just doing business with people that you're not face to face with. And when it comes to a video, think of subcontracting, facilities management, or real estate. You're a real estate agent or a broker working with a client who might be in California looking to buy property in New York City. You can add video of what that property is looking like into that document for them to sign, given time constraints on when the contract has to be submitted. So we feel that those are very, very key features that separate our product from the competitors' products. Now, in terms of the consumer side, we give people access to upload their documents from their preferred cloud. It could be either your Google Drive, your Box account, Dropbox, or Evernote. Another aspect is our product is less competitive than less expensive than the competitors' products. For instance, DocuSign is, they have a tier-based system of $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month. We're just doing a flat fee of $9.99 per month for unlimited access. And outside of being able to upload from your preferred clouds, you can import a document to sign directly from your email. So if someone just wants to send you an email, you upload that document, and you'll be able to sign it and send it back without a problem. Now, this is the traction that we have thus far. On the left side is more of the consumer side, as far as on the App Store, and the right side is more of our enterprise strategy. Our business model is twofold: consumer and enterprise.
So Kyle, sorry, just have to give you a 1-minute warning there.
Sure. So the app launched on last month. We have about 400 plus downloads, 5 paying subscribers. We haven't really spent that much money on advertising to get the reach that we would like. but people are downloading it in different countries. The new iOS features, the updates, we're working on those updates to offer better features for enterprise as well as consumers. Right now, we're in talks with a mobile golf management system, which is national. We are looking to fill out our application and submit for GSA scheduling in a couple of months, and we are in preliminary talks with the second largest U.S. wireless provider in the nation, looking for a solution for internal, which they really like our aspect of the verification. And just on a smaller scale, we're working with local real estate, facility management, and supply chain organizations. Security is a huge key. You know, one thing that we always get when we're out presenting and demo is, well, how secure is it? You know, it's compliant, which a lot of people don't understand the e-Sign Act compliance legislation. We have all the other certifications as far as holding people's private information. And with the new iOS, we're going to be installing the fingerprint aspect, which will definitely help when you're working with subcontractors in real estate.
So Kyle, I'm gonna need you to cut you off there. But
sure.
And go ahead and leave that slide up, and we'll open that up to questions.
Sure.
Actually, that was my question. Was one great presentation, and I totally feel the pain points because I hate using the current DocuSign apps that are out there. So if you have something that's a lot easier and sleeker, I mean, that's certainly a winner. Would you just, my question is, can you go through this slide right here, please, and tell us about your Series A funding and how much you're raising and what are the terms, how much you've raised in the past?
Sure. I have bootstrapped this company basically on my own, and we're looking to complete a Series A funding, which will get us to some certain milestones in terms of, one, development on Android and Windows. The wireless provider, you know, within their talks, they're saying, well, you know, we could cut the price on what we would pay you for the first year, and, you know, that money would be used to develop it on other systems. But, you know, we would like to have that development done just for other enterprise opportunities, not just with, you know, them. We're looking to procure clients right now in our targeted industries. We're in talks with a golf application. They want to use our signature software for signing scorecards for, you know, handicaps and stuff like that. They're in the final steps of an acquisition for about 17,000 golf courses in the nation, which would be, you know, adding our feature to their tool. You know, contracts with federal and local municipalities. I mean, everyone's been to DMV and, you know, experienced anything with, you know, working with the government and you know, especially if you're getting grants or anything like that. I mean, the paperwork is unbelievable. And the processes that they have, at least from my experience out here in North Carolina, it's just so slow. And with a product like this, they would be able to save so much money and effort from, you know, the administrators as well as, you know, the local people or whatever in terms of using a tool like this. We're always looking to build our management team. Right now, it's me and my developer right now who are the two members of the LLC. Right now, we have spent just about, or I have spent roughly over $40,000 to complete this product, the development and of the product on the iPhone and the iPad. Interesting story, one of the, I think it was Crushed, or it might have been Cheeked. They had used Fueled app agency to create their app. I actually met with them during my search, and it was just too expensive for me. So what we did was we outsourced some of it and insourced the rest with my developer out here in Charlotte. So we're looking at $250,000 investment. That will get us to some very, very big milestones in terms of completing the development and adding features for consumers, as well as gaining some more traction and reaching out and offering better features for our enterprise strategy. The money will be used for development, some advertising, and building a sales team. You know, with the emerging markets in Africa, India, Brazil, I mean, with all the infrastructure and things that are going on, even in their local governments, having an e-signature tool, especially being able to verify with that e-signature tool, is definitely a game changer. And that's pretty much where we are.
What are the terms of what you're looking to raise? Have you come up with that yet?
Yeah, we're looking at 10%. We're actually valuing right now, given the current talks with the golf application, they're looking at least over $10 million in revenue by the end of 15, which we will get a percentage of that, as well as the preliminary talk with AT&T. They're looking to do a pretty big deal with us, and that raises our valuation. But I can't really say for sure. Obviously, one bird in the hand is better than two in the bushel. So without those things coming through, we have valued it at a low rate of about 2.5 million just on the small bit of traction that we've gotten and the pending deals that we're working with right now. So 10% for 250K.
Hey, Kyle, it's Gordon here. Thanks for the presentation. It's impressive what you've managed to accomplish here. Just tell me again, how long have you been working on it?
Oh, wow, Gordon. So I actually, and a great thing that attributes to my entrepreneurial journey. So I started this about 2 years ago, and I started with a mobile app. I created and developed it and designed it and everything, and it was called Pillow Talk. It was for basically like an adult messenger, but also had other features as far as education. It failed horribly. We had to pivot, and we took the technology that we created for it and expanded and focused it towards this new in this market. It's a lot more scalable, it's a lot more international, and a lot easier for people to understand. So I've been doing this, actually focusing with the Agreed app for the past 6 months. We just released it last month, and for the little bit of money that I've spent on marketing, it's got some pretty good traction.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I could see this being something that the legal community would be interested in as well, knowing how many times I have to sign stuff every day. It's cool.
Yeah, agreed. Now, how far will that money take you? That $250,000 that you're looking to raise?
That would take us. We're looking at about 32 to 35K a month as far as the burn. So that would, I don't know, I guess 7 to 8 months we'd be looking at. But with that, within those 7 to 8 months, the money, the investment money, would probably, well, more than likely, will be paid back given the current deals that we're in the preliminary talks as well. Nonprofit organization Kennedy Foundation is also looking at our product right now. We're in preliminary talks with them, so it can be paid back pretty sooner than later.
Can you clarify what you mean by paid back? What kind of deal structure have you currently set up for this?
Sure. Well, right now we're looking at that 250 for a 10% stake in the company. I guess I misspoke in terms of paid back. That was more from a convertible note aspect. But 250,000 would solidify someone with 10% of this this revolutionary product.
Kyle, it's Gordon again here.
Okay,
just
North
help understand
Carolina. Are you based in North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
I apologize. I'm not sure who you.
Hello?
Sorry, Gordon. Gordon, why don't you go ahead? I apologize.
Gordon, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just had a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A question about the revenue model. So just help me understand it. So, okay, looking at a golf course, what do? You license this to a golf course as a sort of one-off, or how does the billing, how does the revenue work? Is it based on signatures, or what? How does it work?
Sure. So in terms of our deal with the golf course, is a company called Status 4. What they're doing is they're offering their product. They have a robust golf management system product that they are selling to the Golf Members Association, which ultimately sells to the actual individual golf courses. Now, what they're doing is they're charging a yearly rate to them, and what we will be doing is we will be receiving a yearly percentage of their rate going across. Initially this year, I think it's 3,000 courses, and by 2 years from now, they'll be at 17,000 courses. And that's just a licensing aspect from our enterprise. In terms of our consumer side, we have a monthly subscription at $10 for people to use, unlimited access. If you want to get, bundles, if you want to get a bundle for, 15, 30 brokers or lawyers or whatever for your organization, we can work that out as well. So on the consumer side, it's a subscription model. And on the enterprise side, we're looking at white label for AT&T as well as Kennedy Foundation. And then we're looking at licensing our software to people that just want to add a signature feature to their current product.
Yeah. Okay, cool, thanks.
So we've got about a minute left for another question.
This is Brad. I'll ask her. I haven't yet.
This isn't really a question, but can you just reach out to me afterward? I'd like to continue the conversation offline.
Sure. What's the best way to get in touch? I don't think we distributed like numbers and
I
contact.
think that was that Joe.
Uh, Bob can send my information over to you, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
I'll connect you guys after. Any last question for Kyle?
Kyle, this is Brad. How do you protect what you built? Do you have patents, or what's your strategy of protecting this so you don't get copied and ripped off?
Absolutely. So the way that we see that, with the digital media aspect, where we actually have a method and utility patent for the way that we do it, even though it's a collection of multiple different technologies, we don't see a problem with other or other competitors picking this up and doing the greater good for the e-signature industry. But our real secret sauce lies within our API, which is a sign bundle, which is bundling a lot of people's ID and information into their signature. So now when you go somewhere, if they're using our API, of course, Target can onboard their clients however they want, but they'll be able to just sign and it'll have all of their data. So imagine going to a doctor's office, signing, and you have all of your stuff, in opposed to a fingerprint, or in addition to a fingerprint, or going to a law firm or a real estate office, signing your signature, and all of your contact information gets filled out, or even your payment information. It's a very secure way of embedding people's personal information within a signature. That's our patent right there. It's pending right now, though.
Kyle, very nice job. We're going to have to cut it off there. Wow, six really strong, great presentations, and I have a feeling that the panelists are going to have a hard time deciding this one. Brad and Gordon, I sent you the call-in number through the chat. Hopefully you got that. If not, let me know. Joe, I was having trouble sending the chat to you. It's not showing you, so I emailed it. And do you have that?
A chat? I can't see any chats on the system here, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, I couldn't. I actually couldn't send you the chat. I sent it to you in your email, though. The side phone number, if you are able to check your email.
I can just check it right on your screen right there. Hold it up a little higher. This is perfect. I'm just joking. I'll take a look afterward.
Okay. Well, actually, so Joe, actually, do you have a pen? I can give you the number. We want to just do a quick 5-minute side discussion with you, Gordon, and Brad to decide the winner.
Okay.
So do you have a pen on you?
Sorry.
Joe, are you there?
Hey Bob, it's Gordon. What's the pin?
It's 823 824 034.
034?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so to the audience, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and we will get Joe dialed into our call, and we'll come back shortly with the announcement. Stand by and So everyone, we're back. Hopefully that was a little longer than 5 minutes. But it was a heated and deep discussion. And one of the issues that I actually didn't anticipate before putting on the first event, but we'll take into construction and going into the next one, is the difference between companies that are farther ahead, that have had some investment and are making a lot of progress, versus companies that have a great product and some great potential, but are just really early on. That discussion came down to two companies where there was a little bit of struggle. And so what we've decided is we are going to award an overall winner, but there is a runner-up as well, and I have some flexibility in terms of the prizes. So the declared winner is Zoomph, and Zoomph will receive 2 full passes for the South by Southwest V2V conference next July in Las Vegas. But we're also going to award a runner-up prize to Red Komodo. Kyle, I'll be able to give you 1 pass for South by next year, the V2V conference. And I think it demonstrates the quality of the presentations and the products and everyone is working on. And many of the other companies were also recognized and discussed in the discussion. So I think it was overall a really good event. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We're at 8 o'clock and a little bit past our time, but we've kept it pretty close. And there is a short, very short, less than a minute exit survey. If you don't mind filling out briefly, it'll help us plan a little bit for the next one. And I really appreciate everyone's participation tonight. Feel free to email me if you have any questions or follow-up, and we'll go from there. Thanks very much, Gordon, Brad, Joe. Really appreciate your time and participation. I thought it was fantastic discussions today. Everyone have a very good evening.